All right, everybody, thanks for the download button on today's Unleashed show. And guess what? You asked for it, and today you're getting it. I'm calling and commentating on WrestleMania 17, The Rock versus Stone Cold Steve Austin. The most electrifying man in sports entertainment meets the baddest son of a bitch in the history of the World Wrestling Federation / entertainment. We're going to play the whole match, and you can pull it up on the WWE Network on your smartphone or your tablet or whatever, and watch along with me as I take you on the ride and offer in my opinions on what's going on in the match. And, well, I'm offering my opinion. I'm telling you what's going on. And you can also listen to Jim Ross and Paul Heyman call this match, and we'll dial them down and we'll take them up. And you're going to get a lot of 411 and enjoy this. So my take on WrestleMania 17 coming up. But before we really get started, it's not too late to win some serious cash playing fantasy football at DraftKings.com. Thanks to DraftKings.com, you can win instant cash this weekend. Forget the injuries plaguing your season-long team. You never got to worry about that at DraftKings.com. Forget the suspensions affecting your number one draft pick. Not a problem at DraftKings.com, where you're never stuck with the same players. And if you go to DraftKings.com right now, you can get free entry into the $100,000 fantasy football contest this weekend, where first place takes home $10,000. All you got to do is go to DraftKings.com right now and enter the promo code STEVE to play for free. So enter Steve for free entry at DraftKings.com. That's DraftKings.com. All right, gang, I got to show a little appreciation for another sponsor of the Steve Austin Show. The good folks from Onnit are back, and these are the cats that make the greatest supplements on planet Earth, and they make my coveted Alpha Brain. Yes, the stuff I take every single morning to bring out all the charismatic energy that I use on a Steve Austin show. It's the supplement that keeps me focused and sharp as a razor and lets me open up not one, but 2 cans of audio whoop-ass for you motherfuckers every single week. But Onnit also makes a lot of other great supplements, too. And if you go to Onnit.com/Steve right now, you'll get 10% off your order. Onnit's also got ShroomTech Sport, and that will take your workout to a whole new level. I use it, gang, before all my bust-ass workouts. ShroomTech Sport helps the body improve oxygen utilization so that you can work out longer and recover faster. It's a great way to battle fatigue, and if I'm telling you it's a great way to battle fatigue, that's the bottom line. If you're looking for the best all-natural way to boost your testosterone, then you need to give Onnit's T Plus a try. You're going to have more energy and motivation than you're going to know what to do with, folks, and it's just that simple. And if it don't happen like that, you can get all your ducats back. No questions asked. Money back guarantee. So go to Onnit.com/Steve to get your 10% discount off all your supplements. What are you waiting for? Go now. That's Onnit.com. ONNIT.com/Steve to get 10% off your order.
The following program is a PodcastOne.com production. He started in a small town in Texas. Worked his ass off to become one of the most famous wrestlers of all time.
We're going to take care of business tonight, and that's the bottom line.
And now he's dominating the world of on-demand audio. And he's doing it for the working man.
This is a damn good outlet for me to spew the bullshit off my brain.
Yeah! This is the Steve Austin Show. Unleashed.
All right, everybody, welcome to Steve Austin Show Unleashed. I am coming to you from the Podcast One studios in Beverly Hills, California, 90210. I got my ass up at 5:45 this morning, cooked me a little breakfast after I had my 2 gallons of coffee, fired down a Diet Red Bull, took an Alpha Brain by Onnit, and drove through L.A. traffic down here to the 90210. And you know what? Some of my favorite times in Los Angeles is in the early a.m. when all these motherfuckers ain't on the streets messing shit up, because the rush hour traffic commute is a real sumbitch. And the working man and the working woman are doing this shit every single day of their lives, at least 5 or 6 days anyways. And I can't stand driving in rush hour traffic. I tried to record a podcast the other day driving in rush hour traffic. But you know what? Stacy's on the other end of the glass over there. Stacy, you know what I got to do?
What do you have to do?
I got to get a damn headset that I can plug into my Zoom H4n recorder because, you know, when I'm talking on that microphone, it's legal because it's like holding up a smartphone to your face.
Right.
Where if you hold it up to your ear, they will pull you over and give you a ticket. But still, that being said, those microphones are kind of, it's okay when they're sitting on a table like this one right now, but driving, it just kind of, people look at me like I'm crazier than a shithouse rat because it's not often that you see a guy, and specifically if you recognize me and all of a sudden you're looking at a global icon and a national treasure giant, that's an acronym, doing a podcast beside you thinking, what the fuck is the world coming to? Stone Cold Steve Austin driving through traffic and talking about it while he's doing it.
I need to find you a headset, Mike. I thought we had found one that you had actually tipped me off to, but it doesn't work with the Zoom.
I know we got to get one that plugs in because it's got the big microphone cables, so I got to get that in the name of safety because, Stacy, you know how much I care about humanity in general and people. I'm a kind-hearted, gentle person, but the Steve Austin Show people that listen to this motherfucker, those are the people that I'm really concerned about, Stacy, and were I to run one of them off the road or forget to use my left or right blinker when I'm making a turn and cause someone a little bit of havoc or hassle because I was not able to dictate my direction because I was too busy clusterfucking around with a microphone instead of having two hands on the steering wheel, that's not a good thing.
No, you care about people's safety.
You understand where I'm coming from, right?
Of course I do.
I'm a kind-hearted guy.
We gotta hook you up so that doesn't happen. Doing your part. I get it.
Stacy, how many cups of coffee you had this morning?
I had one big, giant one.
But you're always in a good mood. We've talked about this before. What gives? Are you just, I mean, it's not like the glass is half full with you. The glass is always full with you.
Hey, any day that Stone Cold Steve Austin is coming into the studio is a good day. Why wouldn't I be smiling?
Every time I call you, you're in a good mood. Hey, I got a question for you. You're a big sports fan.
Yes,
and I also want to ask you a wrestling question because we have a very special show today. Are the Chargers still your team?
They are still my team.
You went to a San Diego Chargers game, what, last week or the week before?
Actually, I think that was 2 weeks.
They're doing pretty good right now.
Yeah, it was last weekend.
What's their record? Because normally San Diego starts slow, finishes in a flurry, but then gets dumped out.
They're 4-1 right now,
right.
Which is just unheard of.
Can they maintain this pace, Stacy? Will they shoot themselves in the foot? Will Phillip Rivers derail?
I am trying to be a believer, and I'm going to say they're going to hang on because they never start like this. So I'm hoping this is good momentum.
Well, has there been any other football that you've been interested in other than the Chargers? It's been a crazy season so far.
It's been a crazy season. It's been exciting, but I'll be honest. I watch Charger games. I love Peyton Manning, so I know it's terrible to say I watch Denver because that's, the division
But
rivalry.
You saw the other day Peyton threw his 500th touchdown pass, and now that puts him at about, 502, 503.
Yep.
Brett Favre is in the record with 508.
508.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to it. I love it. Brett Favre is Brett Favre.
Oh, who doesn't love him?
For a guy to have that many touchdown throws, you got to play for like 65 years. And seemingly, Brett played for about 20.
Yeah, he had a
and
good
one of the
long
toughest
career.
guys of all time.
Yes.
And, that was back when, the quarterbacks were taking shots. They don't, they protect them too much these days.
He got hit. I remember seeing him take some hard hits because I used to watch Green Bay when he played because I liked him.
So then he's got the record, but I'm looking forward to Peyton Manning breaking that record.
Me too.
So what did you think? And this is a segue. We're trying to keep this thing current events before I want to ask you a wrestling question. But what did you think when the Green Bay said, okay, let's cut ties with Favre. Aaron Rodgers is our future. And then, Brett going over to the Minnesota Vikings. Do you think he ever really fit in as a Viking?
No, I don't. And initially when that happened, I had, I think, maybe a girl-female emotional reaction because I just kept thinking, oh my gosh, this is your franchise. This is your guy. Look what he's done for Green Bay, for your team. And really, you're going to cut him? Just let him retire. Just let him retire a Packer.
Yeah, he's the gunslinger. He had a couple more slings left in that arm. And he proved it with Minnesota.
He did.
I mean, he made, oh, Jesus, man, what was that, the receiver that he made? Sidney Rice, a household name. But anyway, it was what it was. The thing that impressed me about way back in the day was Aaron Rodgers handled the situation with such class and dignity. Because he could have took the low road. He could have took a couple of pot shots, but he never did. And that's why, and Aaron Rodgers is one of the greatest quarterbacks in the game right now.
Yeah, he really came into his own. And I'll be very honest, I did not want to like him. I didn't want to root for him.
And it's tough because you had to fill in those shoes.
Yeah.
And everybody loved the toughness and, what Brett Favre brought to that team.
Yep.
So it was hard shoes to fill, but he did. Wrestling question. You become somewhat of a wrestling fan because you put my show together.
Yes, absolutely.
And then you put Jim Ross's show together. And, of Chris Jericho and all the guys, the wrestlers that have podcasts these days. So you've become somewhat of a wrestling fan, right?
Yes, I have.
Well, what we're about to do today, and we've already done it. This is the open. We played WrestleMania 17, the match from, 13 years ago.
Yes.
And was this probably the first time you've ever seen that match, right?
In its entirety, yes. I had seen like a short, 3-minute highlight clip, but I'd never seen it start to finish.
Yeah, so I just wanted to comment on what we're about to do for the show. I rewatched WrestleMania 17, my match with The Rock, where I turned heel at the end of the match. And, Stacey, when you're main eventing an event like that and you saw the crowd, we were in the Houston Astrodome, 67,000 people strong. We'd set a new indoor attendance record there. But sometimes when you're working, your buddies are on the card, but you got other things to do.
Right, you're not watching.
No,
as a fan.
Our task at hand was go out there and rock that house and put on a memorable main event, and we succeeded with a match of the year. But there's a couple of things that I want people to take note of on this card because the whole card, WrestleMania 17, was a very special night where WrestleMania is always a time when you want to give it your absolute best and to prove why you're on that card, why you're in the spot you're at on that card, or why you should be higher than you are on that card, such as 13 when me and Bret Hart stole the show in the semi-main position. But one of the things I never saw was The Undertaker and the Triple H entrance. Oh, my God. I watched it back, and I was scanning through the event, and everybody on the roster kicked ass that night. Everybody had a good night. But Triple H, Lemmy, and Motorhead came up with Triple H's theme, and they were there live. And this was, 13 years ago when Lemmy was still looking pretty young for Lemmy. And Lemmy's like one of the all-time party drinker guys. It's lucky like he's still alive.
Absolutely.
And, man, all of a sudden, they stoke up that Motorhead music, and Lemmy, he always sings with his microphone cranked way up, and he looks like he's howling like a wolf at the moon. And he goes, "We're Motorhead. We're going to kick your ass." And they went right into time to play the game. And to me, that was the single best WrestleMania entrance I've seen in the history of WrestleManias.
That was explosive. But so I'm not saying this because you were literally sitting right in front of me across the glass, but man, there's something about when your glass breaks and your music starts.
Oh, yeah.
That's crazy fiery too. Lemmy was cool, but
it was cool, but I just wanted people to check out that entrance. But then following that up, here comes Taker, and he rolls out on that badass chopper, and they hit Rollin', Rollin', Rollin' with Limp Bizkit and Fred Durst, and that was a badass entrance in its own right. But I had to give props to Triple H because they played that whole song, and they looked at each other, and Lemmy just kept up doing his rocking thing, and he was like in a zone. And then finally, when Triple H gave him that point, Lemmy gave him the shout out back, and then it was in the story. And you could see how amped up Triple H was for that match. And you can't bottle that feeling up. If you could, you'd be a billionaire, because when that glass broke for me, as you said, that was Houston, Texas. I grew up 100 miles from Houston down Highway 59 south, first down there in Victoria, which is 125 away, and then in Edna, where my parents still live. And I'd been to rodeos and all kinds of events in the Astrodome. So then to finally have a squared circle in the middle of that arena and be the main event and have a record-setting crowd was unbelievable. So my entrance is what it was, and I'll cover what I was thinking as I went down to that ring, because that wasn't nothing but confidence confidence and swagger and being on fire due to the program that I was entrenched in with The Rock. And then once I made my entrance, all of a sudden you hear Rock's music come on. If you smell what The Rock is cooking, and boom, that bass note hits, and here comes the great one, the most electrifying man in the history of sports entertainment, and he's the champion. He's got that belt that he's going to give everything he's got to maintain, and I'm going to do everything I've got to do to take from him. And indeed was successful. But when you're in the ring and you've already made your own badass entrance, the thing you're looking forward to is your opponent getting the biggest pop possible. And I do say, and dare say, that was a Texas-based crowd. I think I had a little bit more babyface pop than him. If it would have been in Miami or in Florida, maybe a different ball game. I think I'm calling it right down the middle.
I think it was a little in your favor.
Yeah. And then there's a couple times he opens up on offense and actually starts getting some boos.
It was crazy to listen to that.
The crowd kept going back and forth.
Yeah.
And then there's some couple of key moments that I'll give you there with one of my favorite referees to work with, Earl Hebner, and some of the things to look for. I'm not trying to let everything out of the bag, but the business is what it is. You're in for a treat. And again, Stacy will drop the volume up on several things, and I'll come in with some 411, and then she'll bring the volume up of the announce team when Paul Heyman and Jim Ross are bringing it down. But hopefully it works for you if you cue it up and you're able to watch it as we talk, or if you just listen to the thing in the car. We had fun doing this because we had to jerry-rig a system. Stacy's on the other side of the glass, and I tried to sync up my iPad with her computer in there, and she couldn't get on the WWE Network, which I was on. So anyway, we finally synced up. But no, we didn't.
No.
We used your computer screen, and I was standing in here looking through the glass.
Through the glass.
And a couple of times the thing froze up on us.
I know, but you know what? No one will know that but you and I, except now that we're telling them.
We're going to clean it up, and we'll clean it up in post, as we always say in the business. But it was a very interesting endeavor. It was a one-take deal. I've never done this before. Please send your feedback to questions@steveaustonshow.com, whether you dug it, whether you didn't. I think you will, but it's not for me to say. I do this show for the working man and the working woman. Stacey, you ready to roll on with this?
I'm ready to roll on, but I'll tell you, I think you need to come to my house every night and commentate on matches for me.
See, you heard it. I'm in demand. I should have been an announcer. But first, folks, I got a question for you. Hey, you wouldn't pay 50 ducats for a burger, would you? Or $10 for a gallon of gas, right? So why the heck are you paying more than $20 a month for great TV when you could have Dish for just $19.99 a month? Check it out at dish.com/Steve. Seriously, you can dump your overpriced service and switch to Dish and pay as little as $19.99 a month for 12 months and get free installation in up to 6 rooms. I said free installation in up to 6 rooms, people. Go to dish.com/Steve. That's dish.com/Steve. But this is a limited time offer. 24-month commitment and credit qualification required. Cancellation fee and other restrictions apply. Call for details. And hey, you can also ask about all the other amazing deals on upgrades to the Hopper. And you can ask about watching your TV anywhere, anytime. So if you want great TV for the whole family for just $19.99 a month for 12 months, then you got to go to dish.com/Steve. Take advantage of this while you can, folks. That's dish.com/Steve.
Let's go! The all-new Rich Eisen Show.
What is it?
What is it? Who better to tell you than Rich Eisen?
This is what we're going to have on the show. Just talking football along with music and movies and television shows. Interesting things of our pop culture landscape, of which the NFL is part.
And that's all you really want at the end of the day.
The Rich Eisen Show.
Hold on a minute. This is probably my therapist.
Go to podcast1/Rich Eisen to hear every show.
Steve Austin Unleashed.
All right, everybody, you guys, I asked if you wanted me to give this a shot, and you sent me your answers to questions@steveaustonshow.com. What's happening right now is it is Thursday morning. It is exactly 8:37 in the morning. I've had 2 big-ass cups of coffee and 1 Diet Red Bull and an Alpha Brain to support this cause. What we are attempting to do today, I told you guys I was thinking about calling this WrestleMania 17 match and taking you through the ride and my take on everything that went down during this illustrious match. I tried to do this at my house the other day, sitting in my Range Rover Sport with my iPad on my steering wheel. And a lot of you guys sent in emails and saying, hey, try to do it like a pro, go into the studio with Stacy and do it that way. So that being said, here's the setup. I'm here at Podcast One Studios in Beverly Hills, California, 90210. Dig it. And so I'm over here with the microphone in my hand. Stacy is on the other side of the glass. We've got a monitor that we're both watching. I'm going to roll into this. Well, Stacy's going to roll in this, and we're going to take the volume levels of the match up and down. Every now and then, I'll tell Stacy to hit the pause button to elaborate on a point. But basically, I'm going to walk you through what it was like to do battle with The Rock, the most electrifying man in the history of sports entertainment, guerrilla style, about as good as I can do, and give you what was going on in my mind as we were doing battle, having fun, and leading up to this match. Now, before we start rolling, I remember the night before WrestleMania, The Rock, myself, Pat Patterson, I believe Jim Ross was there. As a matter of fact, Kevin Sumlin, now coach of the Texas A&M Aggies, stopped by. We were at Papa's Brothers Steakhouse. I had a big-ass steak, had a couple glasses of wine. We sat down, had dinner, and talked about this match and came up with the broad strokes. The broad strokes meaning we knew there were going to be a couple things that were going to happen in this match. Other than that, if you look closely, you'll see that I'm calling the match. Sometimes the ring is mic'd pretty heavy. You'll hear a little bit of rumblings, but you're not going to hear any specific calls, and you're not going to see too much mouth moving in this thing. And it's something that The Rock, without a whole lot of hair, me with no hair, you always try to keep your head down or to your opponent's ear or blocking your mouth with an arm. It's kind of a lost art. Was I the best in the world at it? Probably not the best, but pretty damn good. This was the match of the year for whatever this, I think it was 2001, Stacy, from WrestleMania 17, and it was one of the favorite matches of my entire career. The only one that I can really compare to with this would be WrestleMania 13 with the one and only Bret the Hitman Hart, in which we executed a double turn. But nonetheless, Stacy's about to hit the play button, and we're going to roll in with the back end of the interview that The Rock and myself did with my good friend, the white meat babyface from Norman, Oklahoma, Jumpin' Jim Ross. And Rock's going to tell you, he's going to give me the best that he's got, and all blood, sweat, and tears, and I'm going to tell him how bad I need to win this match, because at this point in my career, Rock was on fire. I had been on fire for a long time. It's a very rare occasion that you can get two babyfaces into a high-profile match and share the spotlight, share the limelight. Now, I was feeling, as a babyface, I was starting to flatten out a little bit. Don't get me wrong. I was still pretty damn hot, but I guess I was burned out. As I always like to say, I was probably living a little bit too fast and living too hard. And I felt a little flat. Vince McMahon always likes to do something big at a WrestleMania. We didn't have anything big to do for WrestleMania, so it was my bright idea. Hey, Steve, let's turn heel, because I've always liked working heel. So at the end of the match, I'll take you through, what was going on through my mind. And I cringe. I just watched this match a couple of times the other day when I was trying to put this thing together. But I cringe at that last thing where I shook Vince's hand when I should have called the Stone Cold Stunner and just remained an edgy babyface. I felt that the promo package leading into this with the Limp Bizkit song My Way was absolute perfect. And this whole build, this whole program reinvigorated Stone Cold Steve Austin. And I was still the number one babyface in the company. I was still outselling The Rock in merchandise. No one ever sold me when I got hot. But Rock was right there with me. He was super hot. He's one of my favorite opponents, and we just brought out the best in each other anytime we did business. If you go back and you watch his stuff on WWE Network, you can see the whole package, and I won't play that for you because that's more of a visual thing than I can take you through, but that was done in Detroit. Well, we're slapping beers back and forth, and we get into a brawl. I take him down, and we start fighting. And I want to give a shout-out to Jim Ross and Paul Heyman for doing such a great job of calling this match. And Paulie really stepped up his game. And, of course, Jim Ross, the greatest announcer of all time. But nonetheless, here's that match. And I'll take you through the paces. And me and Stacy have never done this before. I'm going to give her the thumbs up and the thumbs down to take down levels of volume. Sometimes we'll pause it if I want to bring a point. But without me flapping my gums anymore, here's WrestleMania 17, Stone Cold versus The Rock.
I need to beat you, Rock. I need it more than anything that you could ever imagine. There can be only one World Wrestling Federation champion, and that will be Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin. With all due respect.
Check out my melody.
This, JR, is the main event.
Let's take up the think.
The following contest, scheduled for one fall, is for the World Wrestling Federation Championship. And in this contest, there will be no disqualification.
What? No disqualifications? When was that added? I don't know.
All right, let me tell you what it's like to walk out in front of 67,000 people in the Houston Astrodome, man. I've been to rodeos and been to everything in the Astrodome. This is basically my backyard, and I'll tell you what, when that glass broke, it ain't nothing but the shit is on right now, right here. My brother was sitting in the front row right there next to The Rock's mother, and they had a few choice words during this match. It was a little bit chaotic, and I had to actually apologize to The Rock's mother for some of the things my brother said. But my brother was actually, he wanted to believe that pro wrestling's real. And whether you believe it's real or not, he was cheering for me. And, of course, The Rock's mother was cheering for her son. And so they had their own little feud going on the front row. But I tell you, you look at the face, if you go back and you can time this thing out, watch as I hit those corners. That is extreme confidence. I know the task at hand. I'm one of the best in the world, if not the best in the world at this particular time in my life. You listen to that pop, I knew exactly where we were going. Look at that. That's not overselling. That ain't underselling. That ain't nothing, but I know what the fuck I'm doing. It's time to get it on like Donkey Kong. And I'm sitting here waiting for The Rock to come on out because he's fixing to get a hell of a pop by his own right. But this was in Texas, and I think I got the bigger pop. Bring it up, Stace. Hell yeah, here comes The Rock. Hell of a pop.
From Miami, Florida, weighing 275 pounds, the World Wrestling Federation champion, The Rock.
Oh, this is a very partisan Texas crowd. Austin is revered. He is a folk hero. Austin has reached legendary status in his home state of Texas.
No doubt, and with good reason. Because
All right, bringing it down. Just like Jim Ross says, man, in Texas, I was the man. Had this match been in Miami or the state of Florida, I think the pops might have went in The Rock's favor. We won't know because the match was in Texas. Nonetheless, The Rock gets a hellacious pop. So I'm just sitting there looking at this sumbitch. And he's looking at me here in a minute. And we know what's going to happen. We're going to jump this thing right off the bat because the feud is hot. We don't need to lollygag. We don't need to pace. He's going to almost insult me by turning his back to me, hanging up onto that belt because I wanted that belt. And obviously right now he's just kind of sticking it up my ass, so to speak. So I got something for him as soon as he turns around. We're going to jump this thing right into action. Whoa, here come with the right hands. Here we go. And listen to these damn fans. Jim Ross calling the action. Take a swing with this belt. Oh, here comes The Rock. Boom, boom. Rock, big right hands. Send me in. Reverse it. Oh, duck that elbow. Watch the Thez press. Couple of knuckle sandwiches. Hit the ropes with a big fuck you. Here we go. Wham! If one was good, another will be even better. Stone Cold, total offense. Here comes The Rock. Time to put him back on top. It's going to be back and forth, tit for tat right here. Go for the backdrop, swinging neck breaker by The Rock. 50-50. Couple of boos there. He's going to set up for the rock bottom early in the match. No, a couple of elbows. Not so fast, my friend, as Lee Corso would say. Go for the stunner. He pushes me off. Come back in. Goes for his own stunner. My finish. You son of a bitch. Great bump by The Rock. Over the top ropes. A guy that big, he's probably weighing about 270 at the time, flies over the top rope. I stopped to adjust that knee brace. And it's time for a little bit of brawling outside here. Okay, we're going to basically take this thing out in the crowd a little bit here. Now, when you get out here, exposed concrete, as Jim Ross is saying, when you get out here in the crowd, man, I was pretty much known for having a stiff-ass working punch. And Rock pretty much on the lighter side of things. But when you're out there in front of the people, you got to lay your shit in because they're right there and they can see everything you're doing. So here comes The Rock. We're coming back inside. I'm going to shit can me over the guardrail. Here we go, back in business. Well, see, you creep over to the announce desk because you want your opponent to use the announce desk. So that's called positioning. I went over there for a reason. We're about to use that area. A little bit of a clusterfuck there. Had to cover that up with a clothesline. I'm talking a little bit of trash here. Earl Hebner right there laying down the rules. Now, this got turned into a no disqualification match, and I forgot why we did that, actually. And that's going to be a major part of the match here in a little bit when we get to that, because there's a couple of sharpshooters applied where we used the ropes. And when you go to the ropes in a normal match, bam, kick to the head. You're going to break the hold. But this was a no DQ match. A couple of shots to the head here. On the offense, on The Rock, kicks to the head look good and solid. That'll leave a mark. All right, time for a cover here. Always got to have covers in a match. Quick kick out on two by The Rock.
But Steve Austin is not in the ring with just anybody. Stone Cold is in the ring with the champion.
You got to understand how big The Rock is. Rock's about 6'4", probably. Maybe 6'3", probably 6'4". Here about 270. And Rock's legs, you can see legs are a great body part for The Rock. But when you get that sumbitch in person, it's like a gigantic coil of muscularity. The sumbitch is bigger than a shithouse rat. Here he comes, big suplex off the second rope. Both of us with a good sail here.
Rock coming right over the top rope, landing his lower back, crashing to the canvas.
All right, we're going to get a cover out of this. Little kick out, about 2 1/4. Smart kick out by The Rock. Now, here's what we're doing. I'm going to take this turnbuckle off here. Now, it looks like, since I'm setting the table here, we're going to use the turnbuckle immediately. This is a tease. Turnbuckle's going to come into play later on in the match. But it's already been introduced. A couple of kicks to the head. I thought he had a headache. I'd kick the sumbitch out of him. Okay, time to fire The Rock back up. Here we go. A little bit of fire here. Some boos by the crowd.
Texas crowd here.
Big throw by The Rock down here. Here comes Rock with a cover. See, you watch that. So far, there's been 3 or 4 covers in this match. Nobody's looking at the referee. I talked about this on the podcast a few weeks ago. Okay, I'm just positioning myself, looking for a clothesline over the top. But it doesn't look like I'm waiting for the clothesline over the top. That's just positioning. And many times I'll call a blind feed here in a minute. That's just positioning so you can set up for a clothesline over the top without looking like you are. Rock coming on out. We're going to brawl out here on the floor a little bit more. Taking our time. Now here's a pivotal part of the match. Take note of what's about to happen here.
Austin are the 2 biggest stars.
And again, Austin's face driven into our announce table. No disqualification. It's a license
That's
to
my old buddy Mark Eaton, the timekeeper. Why they let him go, I have no idea. Earl Hebner trying to get in there. And obviously he's got his hands tied. This is no disqualification match. A little pass right there from Earl to Rock. Watch his bell shot. Fixing to ring him up. We needed color in this match. Somebody's got to bleed. Look for the bell. Watch his shot. Boom! Knock the dog shit out of The Rock with that bell. Now that's nothing but trust on the giving end and trust on the receiving end. Okay, here we are, back in action here. When you throw a bell like that, or a chair. I mean, you got to lay that thing in, but you got to use it with the, it's a careful situation. They don't. I got a shit can Mark Eaton there just because I'm giving Rock time to take care of a little business there with the blade. But when you're throwing a chair or a bell or something like that, man, you're doing your best to take care of that guy, but you got to make it look good. So it's a real art to the giving and receiving of it. I'm not happy with the color he's got. Now, thing is, I'm pounding him here with right hands, but the thing is, Rock's about to go do a movie, so we've got to be careful with his appearance and his looks. Bring him stairs into play. I'm working on a little bit of a hard way here, but I know I can't lump him up too much, and I'm about to call for more color because this just is not enough. Okay, there comes Earl stepping back in. I step away to get camera on me and let Rock take care of the business at hand. And it's always interesting watching referee do his work because me and Earl are just trying to occupy time here. And, the message that he's got to deliver, we're working in a building that's 67,000 people strong, and just the body language and how big his movements are. Earl Hebner is probably, one of my favorite, if not the favorite, referee I've ever worked with. Okay, now I've got Rock backpedaling here. He's in harm's way. He's got a little bit better color now. Wearing his S out. Of course, Rock smartly rolls back into the ring. Here we go. He's coming up. How about a big fuck you for the Rock? Oh, big right hand. Okay, got him rocking and rolling here. Now, I got this sequence here. And you'll see me get on back pedal here in a little bit. I got this. Okay, let's tee off on it here a little bit. Trying to take care of the Rock, but I'm hitting him with a little salt and pepper here to try to open up that blood a little bit. We're talking a little bit there, but you don't know what we're saying. My face is down. A little bit of instruction. Here we go. Now, the reason I'm working a little bit more aggressive here is just because at the end of this match, I'm turning heel. I've already kind of dictated that pace, and I needed to be aggressive anyway. Okay, here we go. Trying to use that exposed turnbuckle to open the Rock up. Backfired on me. Here we go. Sends me in motion. Oh, I got something for him. Reverse neck breaker. Spinning neck breaker. Fuck you. Here we go. Got to get a cover in here. Always got to have your covers in on any match, much less a championship match, because, that's the task at hand, to beat the sumbitch. If you don't ever try to cover him, you can't beat him. So many people forget that. Now, there's a little bit of creative liberty. Now, it's posturing, and I'm in a power position. I'm over the top of the Rock. I'm in control, and I'm fucking with him, and I'm beating his ass. Wiping the blood off my hands. I was always a germaphobe. I loved working with blood, but I didn't like the blood on my hands, so I'm wiping on the mat. Now watch the positioning by the Rock. That was a smart play on his part. He's setting himself up for me to stomp his guts in. And that's what I'm doing, stomping his guts in. Now watch the reposition by myself. And I just had someone email me about this particular knee I'm fixing to put in his face. Giving a Rock a chance to sell here. Now watch this shit. A couple more stomps. Yep. Those probably hurt a little bit. All right. Here's a repo. Watch his knee to the teeth here.
Referee's almost defenseless here with these no disqualifications.
Yeah, pro wrestling's fake. If that don't look good, I'll kiss your ass. Just torturing the Rock right there. Great job of selling. Getting physical with the referee. I know where I'm going at the end of the match. I'm already turning into a prick right now. But I tell you what, I could have done anything that night in Houston. Okay, what? Well.
Exploded! The Rock exploded on Austin!
Loud chorus of boos from the crowd. Of course, Rock knocked my lights out. Okay, we're going to come with another one. See, this isn't the straight up. See, these just clotheslines out of the blue. Pull some offense out of your ass. The clothesline was there. It wasn't the trademark. Here's 3 clotheslines. Bing, bing, bing. Like you see so many people do now. Okay, cut his ass off with a knee, but I'm fixing to put him right back on top. Block the punch. Here we go. Okay, time to get a little bit of color here. Fuck you, Steve. Yep. Wham! Head on a steel turnbuckle. Go to the hand, pull the tape off the wrist. I got business to do. What Rock is doing right now, he's going out of the ring to go get the ring bell. And basically what he's doing, he's taking camera with him because I've got work to do in the ring. Watch this perfect bell that The Rock throws at me. And again, this is trust from on both ends and total respect. Great bell by Rock, great receiving by myself. And this is a blind feed. Pull yourself up, you know what's coming, and you turn right into it. Wham! Now, shit, it don't get no better than that. Of course, I'm busted open. Hell of a blind feed. Watch the kick out. Now, see, I'm knocked out, basically. Eyes closed. You didn't see me look at the referee. That's total, listen to the cadence of the count and know that cadence is always going to be the same. That's what Earl Hebner was so good at. And that's why I never looked at the referee, because you ain't got time to look at the referee because you're hurt and you look like a jabroni. Okay, now this is what I got from an old Hitman Hearns fight way back in the day. I think it was Hagler versus Hearns, where Hitman just kept staggering back and forth off the ropes. And, of course, I'd take a bump on about every third punch. But this was just something to kind of get me on back pedal and just a little bit of momentum into the Rock's offense, because he's got to get me in a bad position here. I've been kicking his ass. I've been the aggressor. But I've got to bring him back up. So that's what we're doing here. He's going to keep coming with the punches back at him, but Stone Cold won't stay down. Let's bring JR back in.
Oh, maybe too little, too late in the most personal of title matches that I have ever witnessed.
Come on, get in there. The Rock now taking the fight to Austin on the outside. The Rock dictating the pace. The Rock brutalizing.
Rock could have laid that elbow in a little bit more. Those elbows are a little bit weak out here. To be real nitpicky, you got to bring the crux of that, the point of that elbow, you've got to bring that right to the throat. And the guy's not going to feel it, because that's one of them things you instinctively stop. But to be quite honest, those elbows could have looked a lot better. Had I been given them, they would have. A little bit of brawling outside here.
Issues, pride. And who's going to be the top man in this business?
Time for Austin to make a little bit of a comeback, blocks things, shots to the gut. A little bit of a clusterfuck there. Now, see, he was going to backdrop me over the top rope there. He wasn't ready for that. I was looking for a backdrop. Well, fuck it, I'm going to drop his throat on the guardrail. And you see, basically what Earl told me, hey, get in the ring, and he was giving me a time cue, let me know what time it was. I don't remember what the total amount of time we had for this match is. Watch, when you try to catapult The Rock, his legs are so goddamn big and strong. Boom, great bump by The Rock. Grabbing that sumbitch's legs, his legs got to be 32 inches around at the thighs, and it's like just grabbing a gigantic muscle. So it was actually a hard feat to actually pull off. The sumbitch is so damn big and wired up. And I say that with all due respect. That's how much time Rock spends in the gym. But, I mean, this is going back, and, we're talking about 14 years ago or better. Good bump by The Rock, good headshot. I got good color going on here. We got some more stuff planned here. I think he probably needs a little bit more color. Watch this. It's time to break out a monitor. The monitor's always my go-to weapon. Throwing a monitor, they don't teach you this shit in wrestling school. Rock took it great. I gave it great. It looked like $1 million. There's some business going on right there between the Rock and Earl Hebner there. Little exchange. Let's get a little bit more color. I'll try to get a little bit of time here. Now watch this. Watch this. This is smart here. Swig of water for the working man. Watch this. See him get that drink of water right there by the guardrail? Announcers always have bottles of water. Anytime I fought over to the table, if I could get a drink of water and sneak it by, I would. And I got me just a little quick swig. And you'll notice in this match, now I'm selling like I'm tired because it's a hell of a match, but I'm a road warrior. Okay, here we go. Quick cover. I got him in harm's way. This is it. No. Good kick out by The Rock. But I'm in premier condition, and if you watch the end of this match, I'm just got a little bit of a huff going, but I'm just now getting my second wind. Okay, so I got Rock in trouble here. Time to fuck with him a little bit.
He's so driven to remain the champion.
Watch a stunner. Oh, he caught it. Okay, now dig this. Okay, sharpshooter, submission move. Now, of course, everybody knows that Bret Hart beat me with the sharpshooter in WrestleMania 13. Rock had started incorporating the sharpshooter into his arsenal, along with everything else that he had, the rock bottom and the whatever the other thing he did when he hit the ropes. So what's happening here is I refuse to give up. It kind of shades of a little bit of WrestleMania 13. I'm fixing to bridge up, got the bloody face, just like 13, and I'm going for the ropes. Now, okay, crowd's popping because Rock just drugged me into the center of the ring, and he's saying, hey, fuck you. And he's looking at the monitor. He sees himself on TV on the big screen up there. And the guys do that a lot of times. Okay, now I'm going for the ropes because it's the only way to get him off of me. But it's a no DQ match. Now, we built these two things in here knowing that the crowd would forgive this in the heat of the moment. But as I go back over this match with you, I've got to say there was no reason for the referee to stop the match because it indeed was no DQ. But we had to have a release point. Now, you'll notice that when I get the Rock in a sharpshooter, he'll power out of it due to his leg strength. But those were two technical issues with the match. But again, in the heat of the moment, the crowd let us get away with. Rake the eyes to get out of this one. Okay, I've got to mount a little bit of offense here. Hey, fuck you. I'm going to give you hey, fuck you. I'm going to give you the same thing you give me. Okay, now here's the thing. The Rock and I are not the greatest technical wrestlers in the history of the business. Now, in talking about these big-ass legs of The Rock, it's hard to put this summit in a sharpshooter, much less him put my big-ass legs, which are quite stumpy, with two leg braces in a sharpshooter. So that's about the shittiest sharpshooter I've ever seen in my life. But again, forgiven by the fans because in the heat of the battle, it is what it is. When Bret Hart put that thing on, it was a picture of beauty and perfection. You got two guys with legs like myself and The Rocks who, again, powered out of it. Not the most technical wrestlers in the world, but showmen. Watch it. Let's work his leg here. Now, that's how you work a goddamn leg there. Rock working with me on the push-up. Hey, fuck you. Now it's time to get a little bit of offense here on The Rock. And a stomp in the gut sure is a good one for you. Straight up, just a piece of shit thing to do. One more sharpshooter. Can we get it?
And Austin with a sharpshooter again on The Rock. El Champion maybe a heartbeat away from tapping out. Can Austin realize his dream in his home state? And The Rock. He's in the ropes.
Okay, the crowd's booing because he got to the ropes. I'm saying, hey, fuck you, I got this guy. Earl Hebner calling for the break, and of course, I acquiesced according to the rules. But if you go back to the rules, it was a no DQ match. Got away with it in the heat of the battle. Okay, let's pick him apart here.
No disqualification warfare.
Okay, now, if you remember back in SummerSlam or Survivor Series, whatever it was, when I wrestled Bret the Hitman Hart in Madison Square Garden, Bret beat me with this very move. I had him in the $1 Million Dream. He kicked off the turnbuckle and pinned me for a 3 count. So basically, right here, we're setting this up. I'm going to get the Rock down. It's going to go to the patented, lift the arm up 3 times. If the arm would have come down for the 3rd time, the match would have been over. Basically, we're looking for a big pop, a big false finish out of Rock firing up after I almost seemingly have him asleep in the $1 Million Dream. But this was inspired as a hope spot from the WrestleMania, from the Madison Square Garden match with Bret the Hitman Hart. Okay, he's powered out. He's going to kick off this turnbuckle, and we're going to get a 2 3/4 out of it. Boy, that's a good kick out right there, and that's just listen to the cadence of Earl Hebner with the steady cadence. Great, believable kick out. Look at me. I just damn near lost the fucking match right there. That's what I'm thinking. Okay, what's the next task at hand here? Need to get a little offense going. No, this is going to be the Thomas Hitman Hearn spots. Now, this is straight up, hey, fuck you, impose your will on a guy right here.
Austin now the clear-cut advantage. The title is in his
Great
sight.
sell job by The Rock.
But what's it going to take to put The Rock shoulders down for
Let's
3?
call something out to Rock. Here we go.
Austin scoring with the right hand.
Oh, big stunner. Okay, now watch the creative now. He's buying a little time here. This is the first time that he's hit a finish, my finish on me. What he's doing, look at him, he's selling his ass off. He's in desperation mode. He's going to protect the finish by taking the time. So it could go either way, whether we get the 3 count or not. Basically, he's protecting the finish. Kick out.
How close can The Rock get to putting away Stone Cold Steve Austin with Austin's own finishing maneuver?
Hey, wait a minute.
Okay, now here we go. Just hit me with a Stone Cold Stunner. We got a double down. I've been having offense on The Rock. He's in a bad way. He just hit me with my finish. He should be a little bit better shape than me. Here comes Vince McMahon. This is a no disqualification match. Now here's a swerve to 67,000 people, the largest crowd ever assembled in the Houston Astrodome up to this point. And here comes the owner of the company, Vince McMahon. And so nobody knows the heel switch is coming, so why is he coming to the ring? Watch as the action continues. Okay, double up here.
McMahon has no love lost for either The Rock or Austin.
Okay, here we go. Boom!
Austin with a spine buster.
Spine buster, reminiscent of Arnett and Deceit. Scramble for the cover there. Sense of urgency. We lollygagged a little bit. We bought time on the other finishes. That's a time where you've got to scramble for the finish to buy into that. This is the one. Okay, back in business. Near fall right there, as Jim called it. Again, sense of urgency with that cover. Okay, I'm on top here. Rock in motion. Boom, reverse spine buster on me.
But can he follow up? Can The Rock follow up on the spine buster?
Both these men have lost a lot of blood. The fatigue, the wear and tear on their bodies.
Now see, when you lay it here on a deal like this, and he just shoves my arm over to my side with his foot like a piece of shit, yanks that elbow pad off, throws it in the crowd, goes and hits the rope. This is good shit. Big elbow. He's going to make the cover on this one. Is it enough? Grabs the leg brace. Oh, Vince McMahon with the leg pull. Now, why would Vince McMahon pull The Rock's leg on that cover? That's the question at hand. Look at the way Vince sells that. Look at The Rock. Incredulous. What the fuck? What are you doing? Of course, Vince. Okay. And now The Rock's going to start chasing Vince. It's one thing to do something in a match, and then all of a sudden, when a guy starts chasing you, you turn into a coward. Comes right by. I got something for you. Hello, rock bottom. Quick with the cover. Fuck you. Here we go. Not wasting any time. Hey, this is it. Oh, and The Rock kicks out. See, that's walking a fine line there. Almost a desperation cover. Didn't lollygag around. I could have got on him a little bit, but wanted to protect that finish just a cunt hair. Rock in harm's way here. Vince McMahon down at the ring. Referee Earl Hebner talking a little bit to The Rock here, but you never